Back on Get Up, and the game of the night last night, the Brooklyn Nets, of course, with the brand new acquisition of James Harden in his second game taking on Giannis and the Bucks. Could be a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, and if so, I'll take 7 of these. What a game. Here's Harden in the fourth quarter, putting his team up 7. Harden 34 points, 12 assists, but the Bucks weren't going quietly into that good night. Down 3, 5 minutes to go. A loose ball will find Brook Lopez, and Lopez will find the bottom of the net for 3. We're all tied at 110. $1:20 to play. Tied at 119 now. Drew Holiday working in the lane. No good. Giannis, yes, he had 34. Bucks a 2-point lead. Ensuing Nets possession. It's Harden. Probing, finding Joe Harris for 3. Nets a 1-point lead. Back come the Bucks. A minute to play. Same score. Chris Middleton finds a spot. Bucks take the lead back. Good game. Nets ball. 45 seconds left. It's Durant working. Kicks it out. Harden, no good, but watch Harden follow the shot and get it back to KD. KD, oh, that's so good. He had 30 points, 9 boards, 6 assists. The bench loves it. Just over 10 to play. Nets by 2, looking to put it away. But hold on, KD gets it knocked away. The turnover, the Bucks have a chance. Down 2, 3.8 seconds to go. Where you going for the bucket to try to win it? Where's Giannis? They don't go to Giannis, they go to Middleton. Middleton, a contested 3 that does not go. Giannis frustrated, and here's why. Middleton does not see that Giannis is all by himself driving the lane, but the shot is up and no good, and the Nets come away with a thriller of a win, 125-123, and let us talk it over. Oh, it's been too long since we've had the occasion to say good morning to Jay Will from KJZ Radio, of course, coast to coast, and he's got a minute for me here. Give me your sense through 2 games. Harden and Durant, they've combined for 138 points and 2 good wins. How good are they together?
I mean, Harden's either scored or assisted on 129 points in 2 games, Greeny. In 2 games. And that's why I said before, I think this is the most gifted scoring trio the league has ever seen. And we haven't even added in Kyrie Irving yet. You have a guy who is a multiple-time scoring champ in James Harden, but also averages 10 assists per game. You put the ball in his hands, and then you allow him to play off of guys like Kevin Durant, who's one of the most efficient players the game has ever seen with his size and his length. And then when you become additive and you bring Kyrie Irving into the situation, a guy who is a wizard with the ball, who also can score in transition, I think it makes a unique combination of people that can get it done in a variety of different ways. But I do want to tell you this last night, Greeny. I don't think that is the headline walking away from this game last night. You said it in the last question you asked. You said, where is Giannis? That was the question I had. I don't care about what the Bucks do in the regular season anymore. They've won 2 regular seasons with the best record in the league 2 years in a row. Okay, what I care about is Giannis, the reigning defensive player of the year. How come he wasn't guarding Kevin Durant down the stretch last night? That's a matchup everybody wanted to see. Everybody's been talking trash this entire offseason about the fact that Giannis doesn't guard the primary scorer's responsibility. That's not his. People have been calling him out. And then also down the stretch, I'm tired of Giannis being a nice guy. We watched the metamorphoses for people like Kevin Durant becoming the villain, guys like LeBron James becoming the villain, demanding the ball at the end-of-game scenario. The fact that Coach Bud drew that play up for Chris Middleton lets you know about a guy who is the highest paid player in North American sports, $45 million a year. It's time for Giannis to be that person that says, no, Coach Bud, give me the damn ball, and it's time for me to close this game out the way I know I can close it out. That's what I was waiting for last night when watching that Nets-Bucks game.
I like it. And so there's obviously a lot to unpack. But let me, in the moment I have left with you here, go back to the previous thought, because they're a dynamic duo right now, Harden and Durant, and they've looked very good. You said it will be additive when they bring Kyrie Irving in. Tim Legler earlier this morning told me he has a lot of concerns for how that will fit. How do you think it fits?
This is going to be Kevin Durant's chance to lead his team to a world championship. People always question about, even though he was a 2-time finals MVP in Golden State, well, that's Stephen Curry's team. Well, this is Kevin Durant's team now in Brooklyn. James Harden will acquiesce to Kevin Durant. The question is, will Kyrie Irving? And Tim Legler also said that, look, the pecking order is KD, James Harden, then Kyrie. So I know that Steve Nash, due to his affiliation with the Golden State Warriors and his time spent with Kevin, is the guy that Kevin Durant stamped as the leader and the coach of this team. I know Mike D'Antoni on the bench has spent time with James Harden and has familiarity with James Harden. He can manage that relationship. The biggest question for the Nets, who will manage Kyrie Irving? And there's no doubt about it, that has to be Kevin Durant. That is his responsibility. If KD can do that and lead with Kyrie Irving, then his team can win a world championship. But if it can't, it can also implode.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many different ways that could go because there's the basketball fit and then there's the relationships of it all. Just outstanding. Again, Jay Williams, KJZ, coast to coast, every single morning on ESPN Radio. All right, Zubin is yelling for you right now, so I got to let you go. I will see you. Were on display. James Harden, his second game with the Nets, up against the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo and Milwaukee. Two great teams in the Eastern Conference. Here we go. Pick it up in the fourth. 8 minutes to play. Nets by 5. Kevin Durant to Harden through traffic. Yes. James Harden 34 points, 12 assists. Nets a 7-point lead. But the Bucks were not going quietly into that good night. Down 3 with 5 to go. Loose ball finds Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez finds a 3. We're all tied at 110. A minute 20 remains. Tied at 119 now. Drew Holiday in the lane. No good. Giannis, yes, he had 34. Bucks a 2-point lead. Ensuing Nets possession. James Harden. He doesn't just shoot. He dishes. Harden finding Joe Harris for the 3, and the Nets take a 1-point lead. Back come the Bucks. A minute to play. Same score. Chris Middleton. Yes, Bucks take the lead back. Good game. Nets get it back. 45 seconds remaining. Durant probing, kicking. Harden, no good. But he gets his own rebound, and he finds Kevin Durant. How pretty is that? Durant drills the 3. Durant 30 points, 9 boards, 6 assists. Just over 10 to play. Nets leading by 2. Looking to seal the win. Durant, oh, it's poked away. Durant turns it over. Bucks get a chance. Down by 2. 3.8 seconds to go. Where are you going for a game-winning bucket? In they go to Middleton. Middleton contested. Oh, man, look at this. As we show you the replay, and that one rims out, Giannis Antetokounmpo is going right down the middle, and he is all alone. But Middleton can't find him. Up goes the shot, and it's no good. And the Nets hang on to win in game number 2 for James Harden.
We were young in Oklahoma City. You know, we're grown men now. You know what we want. We really know the game of basketball now. You know, we're not those young guys that just run around and want to just shoot and dunk all day. We know the games, we know spots, we know, teams plays. We're more advanced. Pretty much seen every defense, every offensive scheme. We done been in every type of game, playoffs, game 7s, so we done been through a lot in this league, experienced a lot. And for us to bring it together now and combine what we've learned over this time and try to play great basketball, I think it was pretty seamless for us.
So this is the stat of the day. Harden and Durant have combined for 138 points in their first 2 games together in Brooklyn. It's the second most combined points. And for teammates in their first 2 games with a franchise in NBA history, only Wilt Chamberlain and York Larisi had more. By the way, Larisi had a combined total of 12 of those points. Wilt had the rest. All right, let's bring Tim Legler into the conversation here because it is fascinating to watch them, and they don't even have Kyrie yet. So, Legs, I know you have a little tape on the new-look Nets. What are you seeing?
Yeah, well, look, James Harden and Kevin Durant, this might be the greatest pairing of just raw offensive talent that this league has ever seen. And what James Harden does is he occupies guys. I think he, Steph Curry, and LeBron James are the 3 guys that get defenses to occupy multiple defenders more than anybody else. Here's an example from just last night. James Harden occupies 2 guys at half court on a simple ball screen because you're that worried about him. Joe Harris just runs to the open spot and hits it. This one fascinates me because it's early offense. You have 4 defenders rotate to that side of the floor, and all eyes are on him. You lose sight of Kevin Durant, who gets the easy one. And in here, his ability to just beat his individual matchup, in this case, is Drew Holiday, one of the best defenders in the league, and he leaves him in his rearview mirror. Now he's in the lane. Get that backline defender to come up, and you make the game easy for DeAndre Jordan. So it's just his prowess as a guy that will win every individual matchup in front of him. And then he's also going to force an overcommitment defensively. And then what that does to the guys on his team, it just makes the game easy. And right now, Joe Harris, DeAndre Jordan, even Jeff Green, the game is really simple for them. Just find an open spot and wait, basically, because James Harden is that good at breaking defenses down. And I haven't even talked about Durant. He's the guy at the top of the food chain on this team, and he just gets his seamlessly whenever he wants to. But the fact that Harden is getting these defenses to shift, Greeny, to his side of the floor, it's just going to make them so lethal some nights and really no answer defensively for what they bring at you.
And that's right now when they are a dynamic duo. But how about when they become a trio? When you add Kyrie to this mix, what happens?
Very difficult for me watching that game, imagining Kyrie Irving on the floor, because I love the flow that they had. And I talked about those other role players getting great opportunities. Well, when you now add another guy to the mix that's a ball-dominant player, I think the flow is going to be interrupted. And Kyrie's put himself in a little bit of a tough spot here by missing the beginning of this, because now you feel like the pressure is going to be on him to figure out a way to make sure that this thing stays humming the way that it has for the first two games. And you almost feel like he's being set up to fail. No matter what happens, Kyrie Irving is going to be the guy that people are going to point at, regardless of how he plays, if they start losing games or if this offense slows down. So I just think it's, when you look at this team and you look at the pairing of these two guys in Durant and James Harden, I like this team the way it is. But unfortunately, that's not how it's going to be. You're going to add another supreme elite scorer to the mix. And it's not just the fact that he's a great scorer. It's the way he gets it and the number of dribbles he takes and how he has to continually break his guy down in order to make it happen. I just wonder what is going to happen with the opportunities that the supporting cast gets. And I don't care what anybody says, you're going to need those guys to play at a really highly efficient rate. They're doing it with two ball dominant guys. You add a third one to the mix, it's going to get a little bit muddled out there.